Let's get.
G'day everybody, welcome back to Sketch Biz. I don't even know what episode we're up to, but I'm joined by Aaron Sammut? Sammut, okay, yes.
Sammut, yeah.
And Aaron is the lovely creator of Maurice in the Metal, which is what we've both been working on for the past, 6, 7, probably more than 9 months. We just had issue 4 come out. Yeah, so yeah, welcome to Sketch Biz. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me.
Hey, you're welcome. So you're going to be drawing, we're both going to be drawing live and going to chop and change it afterwards.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to be drawing Maurice because obviously
Yep.
that makes sense. And
That makes sense.
yeah, I thought this
Yeah.
would be a really good opportunity for us to just whether catch up post-production of issue 4 and then maybe have a little chat. I commissioned the ever so talented Ink Pulp boys to review my work for Maurice, so mainly looking at the illustration side of things, but they did touch on a couple of things for the writing itself. And maybe what we're going to do for issue 5 and what your trajectory is in terms of writing, because I want to pick your brain about writing, and because I'm not trying to write myself, and kind of how we want to make Maurice move forward. And yeah, more of like a
Yeah.
collaborative speech and
Yeah.
chat about how we're going to do with that. But before any of that, we're going to get started drawing. We're both drawing Maurice. We can talk like drawing techniques because I know you want to pick my brain a little bit about that as
Yeah,
well.
I do.
But I want to chat about you first and your background. Just if nobody knows, I've got Maurice behind me there. If you can see him there,
Yep.
he's a good looking boy.
You can see him on the wall back there.
Yeah. So tell me about you and how you kind of got to the point of writing or wanting to do comics. What drawn you to that? Just you can start from the day you were born. You can do whatever you like.
Well, I did grow up in the I'm a 1980 baby.
Yeah, same.
So grew up and I think at the time where I started to get into comics, I was so daunted by starting at Spider-Man number 685 or whatever it would be.
It's not just me.
Thinking, there's nothing that starts with me.
Yeah.
I want to start reading something that's starting as well. And, at that time, as a 12-year-old, Image started releasing Youngbloods, Savage Dragon, and Spawn.
Mhm.
And yeah, it was just, it spoke to me because it was over the top. It was super violent. I don't think there could have been more pockets on any of the characters and so it was just like the right time for a studio to start like that. And it spoke to my sensibilities as well, action minded film lover and that kind of thing. And all through high school, all through even primary school, what I really focused on was a visual sense, so like the artistic side of things. And that kind of just led into a career in visual art. So I've got a Bachelor of Photography.
Nice.
I studied at James Cook University and just kind of fell in behind the computer more than the camera. So Photoshop became my bread and butter, So I worked all the way through university trying to work out how I can get into behind the computer then in the darkroom or behind the camera even. So Photoshop just became like second nature to me. And then when I moved on from university, I realized that my skills probably were set more in graphic design than photography. So everything kind of just transferred across. Everything I learned in Photoshop, I was able to carry across to Illustrator and InDesign. And then before I knew it, I was designing magazines in Brisbane, a music magazine called Rave Magazine. It was just a local street press doing a print run every week. And I was their photographer as well, amongst the many photographers, but I started shooting gigs. I just found that I was part of the music scene in Brisbane, in and out of Fortitude Valley, in and out of gigs, like maybe twice a night sometimes. Ended up shooting like 350 shows. festivals,
Wow.
and just fell in love with that visual sense of music. Um, Ended up working there for 8 years and produced 500 weeklies. So 500 magazines cover to cover. And it sadly got taken over, the magazine, and shut down. And I had to find out, that there was a world of publishing out there that's not music related. So
Mm.
that was a sad day. It was probably about 15 years ago now. So from there, I went into publishing and
Mhm.
started working on magazines that, you know, not as passionate about, but still, tried to make the most out of what I had to design with.
Yeah.
And I found that I really enjoyed trying to make something that people don't expect. Because it was for a mining magazine and, retirement magazines, and just trying to do designs that people didn't expect. Uh, that was for a mid-level publisher, and we were just doing B2B magazines.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, we had an issue on black lung, and what I did was made like a lung stencil and poured black charcoal on it to make a cover. Um, and found myself winning awards down in Sydney at the Publishers Awards for
Nice.
graphic design. So I realized I had this thing that was outside of. It wasn't just because I had music to push that passion of working late hours and
Yeah.
working to weekly deadlines. But I found that I just loved publishing.
There's
Uh,
nothing like a good designed book or page, or I don't know, it's an art in itself, and a lot of people just like really struggle with it. So when you get it right and you make something look clean, yeah.
yeah, absolutely. And to do something that not many people expect, like there was magazines back then that were, you know, not really doing enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, I found that I like that, but then, like anything, you know, you want to see something else. You want to see something new. And
Yeah.
after working in publishing for, at that time, it would have been 16 years, and never once had like my name on the writers, column, or never had anything that I felt like, oh, it was me cover to cover.
Yeah.
So I was a bit down on the way to work one day, and started listening to Metallica. So Metallica's Master of Puppets. I must have been listening to something like a real downer, like Simon and Garfunkel, which I do love, by the way. But yeah, it just wasn't getting me through the day.
Yeah.
So I put on that song, Master of Puppets, and I just felt huge.
Yeah.
Like I was stomping the pavement, and by the time I got to my office door, I realized that the music had actually powered me to get there.
Yeah.
You know, and then obviously there was just like a it was just like a landslide of just these thoughts going, well, why couldn't a superhero be charged by this metal?
Yeah.
And then I didn't get much work done that day at the office.
You got a
I
surge
had
of inspiration.
I just couldn't. It wouldn't stop. It
Yeah.
was all really organic as well. And looking down on my desk, I saw that I had all these post-it notes everywhere going, I've got to stop. I've got to start actually doing some work.
Yeah.
So I
I've
took all my
fallen into
post-it
that trap a
notes,
couple of times, and I always feel really bad.
but also exciting, hey, because you,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
can't stop
yeah.
it.
Like
Yeah,
wrong place, wrong time. You're like, come on, brain.
yeah. Well, that's when the ideas usually come out, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so on the way home on the bus, I'm jotting down all these ideas and getting it onto my phone and just making notes. And I look up and I had overshot my bus stop by about half an hour.
No.
Yeah, so it was like this moment to moment of something like you've got to stop thinking about it. Um, and obviously, I didn't stop thinking about it.
Oh,
It was
that's when you know you're
the
onto
last.
something.
Yeah. The people I was talking to about it going, I can't stop thinking about it. And they said, this is probably an idea that should have been done before. So why don't you do it?
Yeah.
And, it was the last thing I was thinking about before I went to sleep, and the first thing I was thinking about when I woke up. So I just bit the bullet and said, you know what? I don't have to be able to be the best speller or the best at grammar or, uh, you know, I don't have to be the best writer to actually give it a go. You don't have to
Oh,
be the
no,
best at
God,
anything to
no.
give it a go.
Well, and then how else
So
are you
I
gonna learn, right? Like, if you don't just jump I'm all about jumping into the deep end
jumping into
where
the deep end.
you know?
That's what my goal was.
Yeah,
So I wrote just draft after draft, and the more that I did that I realized that I was actually creating something that wasn't um, how do I word this? It wasn't like I was forcing it too much. Like it did feel really organic. And my ideas were they were just flowing. And every single time that I felt like, oh, am I overdoing it? And I would just learn to cut out what wasn't necessary, but really, really focus on what was. And not that I want to start quoting really famous writers, but Truman Capote saying, write drunk but edit sober.
yeah,
So I use that mentality where I free form write and then edit with some purpose.
yeah,
That way, you actually do make sure that you're cutting out the um, the weaker stuff, and that weaker stuff is just weaker for a moment. So you get to actually say, well, what doesn't work about it? What could work about it? What can
that's
I,
it.
what idea could I put with this to actually make it better? But that first day, that will live in my mind for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Because yeah, out of that first day came the fact that his name was Maurice, that his mum named him that because she didn't want a metalhead for a son, and Maurice was the least metalhead name she could find because he's named after a Bee Gee.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, I love the Bee Gees, not gonna
I love
lie.
the Bee Gees too, and so does Maurice's mum.
Maybe he embraces that later on.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, she does too. Um, and the guide, that a hero needs a guide,
Yeah,
like Superman needed his father, and things like that. Uh, that idea came out of just going, well, what about if his Walkman had something to do with it? It's not just a Walkman; it's been possessed, and that all came out of that first day. So it was super exciting.
yeah. Everything it's just when, like, naturally everything clicks together, that's when you're like, "Okay, we got something and we're gonna harness it and roll with it."
Yeah, and just see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, is that like an experience you've had with the book that you're writing now?
Look, I've never been a writer. There's a reason I got E in English. I was, too busy drawing most of my, childhood and through high school, and I was always told off for drawing way too much, and obviously it was meant to be, so stuff your teachers. But I'm so good at coming up with concepts and ideas and, like, an overall arch of how things would work together and integrate. So it's more about the pacing and then the character dialogue and stuff like that. That's where
Hmm.
I struggle. But when I get an idea, I really want to work with it and I can come up with things visually. I think of things super visually. I can do, like, I don't know, 3D renders in my head. Some people have said that they could do like a full rotation of something in their head. That's how I
Yeah,
think.
right.
Like, if someone says, like, think of an apple, and I can fully, like, turn it around, I can see how the stem comes out the top, and then I can flip it, and I can see how, like, the how it joins underneath. So
Yeah,
that's
right.
my brain. But,
Yeah.
yeah,
And is that
uh,
something that you worked on, or is that something that was just in built?
yeah, that's just how it builds, and then, like, I've talked to my husband about it, and he thinks things in numbers, and he tried to explain to me how he thinks that, and so everything he looks at, he sees numbers, and to me, that's so fascinating because
It's
people
different.
pick something, whether it's in theory, most of it is a creative way. So whether they think in words, they think in music, they think in colors. I know
Yeah.
some people think in colors, like when they talk about something, it almost brings an aura to them or something like that. I just find it so
Yeah,
fascinating.
absolutely.
And yeah, so writing doesn't come naturally to me, but thinking about a world and what it would look like and the characters and how they would act, think, walk, talk, that's my brain will come up with. But yeah, it's the actual physically writing it and making it, work in a sense that would be good for people to read and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I
Okay.
do. Go back to your point. Yes, I do get that big surge of energy, but yeah, it's the implementing the stuff that I just doesn't come naturally to me is where I get stuck.
So do you get like that moment where you've got a character in mind, but you're
Mm.
not sure what they're actually doing, what their journey entails?
I know I've got all that. It's just
Yeah, right.
I got to think about how to, like I said, make it not look and sound ridiculous on page, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, that does.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
I'm a great storyteller. Like I love drama. I was a drama kid as well, and I did a lot of like the nonverbal communication stuff, which I thoroughly recommend to anybody who's trying to learn how to draw. And
Yeah,
so
right.
I can think like, are they going to be something like with Maurice? He's always got to have like a little bit of an arch over his things, and when he becomes a bit more confident in himself, his shoulders will come back and his chest will come out a little bit more when he's like feeling stuff. But when he's unsure of himself, that's when he becomes hunched over, and that lanky, gangly, skinny kid
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
thing. That all tells a story. All that visual stuff can tell a story as well. So um, I'll have all that down packed with like how I want the character, yeah, how the walk talk and what their demeanor will be like. I've got all that. But yeah, it's all the other stuff, the dialogue and pacing and stuff. That's just where I struggle.
Yeah, right. Okay. Do you if you can visualize the apple, can you visualize your character as well?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And I'll see like what kind of weapons they've got, and then you go. Sometimes when you try and draw it and you get real frustrated because it's not coming out the way that you actually want it to come out. But hey, that's drawing
It's
for
part of the
you.
course.
Character
Is that frustrating because in your mind you see it differently to the way it's coming out
Yeah,
on pencil,
yeah.
on paper? Yeah.
But I had the pleasure of sharing a studio with for a very short time in Sydney with John Somariva, David Yadin, and Daniel Picciotto. Absolute phenomenal artists. I'm
Hmm.
sure people know those names because they are doing so well for themselves. Um, John said to me once that if what on your page is not, I've got Michael over me. If what on your page is not, coming out how you seeing it, he says that you've leveled up. So you're visually inside your head, you can see how it's meant to look, and you can tell that the anatomy might not be right, or you can't quite draw something. It just means that you've leveled up as an artist. It's just you got to wait for your skills to catch up. And so
Yeah,
that,
right.
that that brought me back down, being like, I shouldn't be mad about this. I shouldn't be mad that I can see mistakes or it's not coming out how I want it to come out. I should be very grateful that I am actually still learning and moving forward. And
Yeah.
I just felt
Okay. That's
give
really good
myself,
advice.
yeah, give myself some time to understand that I got to be patient, and then I think that's why I started really enjoying learning and being okay with needing to take my time.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you see that something's wrong, that's the guide.
Yeah, that's like
You
to
can
say
tell
like,
that
oh,
something's
okay,
wrong.
what can I study? What can I learn? And I know a lot of people get so frustrated when they're like, "Well, I should be better by now." Blah blah blah. I'm like, but aren't you excited to learn that? You know,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
should be pumped that you've got that opportunity. How much would it suck? You wouldn't know though that you're just like okay being how you are. Like I don't know. I get so
Yeah. No,
pumped when I just
absolutely.
get an opportunity to just learn something cool and
To
new. I
learn
don't know.
something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
there's also the aspect of once you're starting to get into comics, or even any kind of art form,
Mm.
your taste in it is actually probably increasing faster than your ability. So
Oh
when
yeah.
you see somebody else's artwork, uh, or if I read something and go, well, that's like I'm so far away from that, but at least I know I'm far away from it.
Yes. Yes. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. And then there is one of those things where I was similar to you in school. Like I coasted the entire time. I didn't, didn't try. I was just, I'd rather be drawing as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like right now, because I feel like I'm mature enough to be in high school now at 45.
Yeah, I know, right? I would learn so much more.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel
Wasted
like
on
I
my
would be a
16-year-old
sponge.
self.
Yeah, if I could go back and just say, hey, you probably should be listening a little bit more. But yeah, it wasn't to be at that point. And that was part of my journey there too.
But, isn't that
Um,
where the system fails a little bit? Just to go off on a separate tangent, but if a kid is screaming at you, I was screaming at people like, "Let me draw. I wanna do illustration. I wanna do comics." And, like, obviously, I've never strayed. And I always got so much pushback from people like, "No, that's you shouldn't be doing that. That's not you're not gonna make money, blah, blah, blah." I'm like, "But why wouldn't you want to harness that natural potential in someone?" 'Cause, I mean,
yeah,
it's not like illustration was never a thing. And, movies, animation, blah, blah, blah. Yes, it was all fairly new, but obviously that means there's gonna be a future for it, you know?
yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
Um,
I have strong
I think there
opinions.
is this aspect of people around you going, well, I'm not going to encourage you to take a risk because then I don't,
It's always yeah,
because then I'm not,
it's self-reflection on their part, I find most of the time.
yeah, yeah. So I feel like if they're encouraging you not to take a risk, then they don't have to worry about taking a risk either.
Yeah. Well, like
And I don't see it as a risk either. There are so many people out there who are so good who haven't had any formal training.
but yeah,
Like they've probably got degrees in engineering and want to just go, you know what, I want to give writing a go. I want to give illustration a go.
yeah. And
And
hell yeah, why not? You know?
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And especially if you've got a job where maybe your cup's not getting filled passionately or with
Yeah,
passion, not passionately. But you get to go home and actually have this as your side gig or your side hustle.
yeah. That's it.
Like you can't go and go, well, I'm a graphic designer by day, but by night I really like to engineer buildings and engineer bridges and stuff like
Yeah.
that. It's like that can't be a side gig. Um, and there are times when you were drawing issue 4, Lauren, that you forgot to put Maurice's headphones on.
Oh god, yeah, so many times.
Yeah,
I
just
made like
because.
I always made sure to Lockie, like my husband, to look through it half the time, be like, "What have I missed? I know I've missed it." And you gotta think, like, if he's not wearing it, then where is it? Because it's not like it's gonna
Yeah,
fall off him at all. And then, like, which side is his Walkman on? What side did I put his Walkman on in the last couple of pages? And has it changed? Like, would it really matter if it changed? Because obviously he's chopping and changing all the time.
yeah,
You need continuity and that sort of stuff that you remember. Because my brain's chaotic. I just got to keep moving forward. So yeah, sometimes I got to check myself there. Be like, no, slow down. Do you cross
slow
check?
down.
Yeah.
Are you
So,
finding that kind of issue with your new book?
um, no, I'm really taking it slow because I don't want to rush it. Um, and I know that obviously it's not a paid gig. It's not something that I'm working on to make money. Like I'm still getting jobs, and obviously I'll be working alongside yourself again when we take on issue 5. And so I need to make sure that I'm yeah, not rushing it just to say it's done. Yes, I know I do like to follow that lead. Um, Jake Parker says it's just like it's better finished than like it's better done than not. You know,
Yeah,
you've
yeah,
got to create something, create it. But yeah, I also know that I don't need to rush this at all. It's a love project and, just want something that's all me because then I can just
there we go.
tick it off a list, I guess.
Um, it's really great for illustrators too, right? Because you're every kind of thing that you draw is actually just added to your portfolio.
Portfolio. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, and if it is your own characters and your own like making, then I
Yeah.
think you'll be on the radar for people who are starting their own projects. Then,
Yeah. That's it.
yeah. Do you do you find yourself getting more commissions, or are you looking to get into more of the sequential artwork?
I want to do more sequentials now. Took me a while to start really enjoying them. I'm not
Hmm.
sure why, because I mean, I love animation, so like storyboards and stuff, it's super similar. But I don't know, I think it was the time aspect that just really bugged me because I know it takes a long time to do everything. So, but I'm really enjoying it because I know how much I actually learn from it, and get to use the actual skills that I do know. So yeah, it's yeah changed a little bit.
Yeah. And what did you take away from the ink pulp guys that, something maybe that you went, oh, of course, where it
Mm.
seems so simple when somebody's reviewing something.
Yeah, well, that's why you always got to try and get some fresh eyes on stuff, right?
Yeah,
Because if
absolutely.
both of us have probably been looking at issue 4 so much that we just like probably haven't seen too much of what they probably have flagged. So, what was it? Some of the biggest points that they mentioned. So, if people don't know, they've got a Patreon for their podcast. I'll throw the link down the bottom. It's something that I religiously watch on YouTube, but they do have a Patreon where you can purchase a half an hour review of whether it's your portfolio or sequential work or an issue or something like that. So I purchased it. And I know, like, obviously, I do have a good skill set, but I wanted to just get them to get some fresh eyes on it. And obviously, them being in the industry a lot more and their technical skills are way more elevated than mine. Not to diminish mine at all, but yeah, they had some really good points just about I put too much fluff into stuff, and I think I was just trying to really make a big comeback with this being, the first sort of real project I worked on since getting back into the industry after having my daughter. And so I was, I think I was just trying to impress too much, maybe. I don't know whether that was it, but I don't know. But it totally made sense. And I knew I was doing it. I 100% knew I was doing it. And I wasn't focusing on the stuff that mattered to like those establishing shots. And then I would be worried about everything else. Therefore, some of my perspectives were a little bit wonky donk. And yeah, it was minor things they were picking up. Minor, I say minor, but probably will contribute quite heavily to my um my skills. But they like everything they said made sense. And I obviously showed you the what they said. What did you agree with most of it as well?
Oh no, I agreed with pretty much all of it.
Yeah.
Um, and for some of the comments about the writing part of it was the pacing, and I've tried to take everything on board.
Mm.
Whether or not we choose um, to do anything different, but just be aware of it. You don't want to get into a slump where you're making something for somebody else rather than um, for yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, some of the feedback was that Maurice was just walking from place to place,
Yes, that's
and
true.
he was talking to the Walkman, um, and I like it's hard not to go, but this is my baby.
Yes, that's true.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, but then to be also going, well, I feel like there's a lot of writers out there who write and they understand it, but
Mm.
when it gets taken into like a page, I don't know if people can actually follow it quite like the person telling the
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
So I have to keep that in mind that you're writing for a reader, you're not writing for the writer.
No, yeah, that's true. And
Yeah.
do you feel like that's kind of what you were sort of doing? Or because, like,
No,
I'm not
no,
even
I
going to
just
give my opinion because, like I said, I'm not the biggest writer. So,
well, yes and no. I hate that answer. Hate that answer. But just to be mindful of it, I think I wasn't mindful of it because some of the comments on those scenes where Maurice is walking from place to place and talking to his dad through the Walkman,
yeah,
they're some of my favorite parts.
they
And
are. So maybe that's probably a me thing then, because I do remember them saying, you can still make those panels interesting. And whether it's combining them, so it's more just like a one big page, just like that, a single splash page can still tell the same amount as like 7 panels. So it's not just drawing the same thing over and over and over again, but it's like making this like fluid splash page where people can still follow what he's saying. And it's just like one part of me being able to draw that and actually make it look interesting and still flow like it would for multiple panels. But it's also the lettering side of it for you and how you would structure that on the page too. Maybe probably worth us actually, like, if I, one time we'll just do this, like, not recording, but we screen share and then we go through the script and I can screen share my stuff with you and then we can sort of, plot out where the speech bubble, like all the text bubbles are going to go.
Yeah.
That's another thing that I realized is that I just didn't take that into account. So I was drawing stuff that I didn't need to draw because it was going to get covered. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's another thing that we would probably benefit, and also to take up a chunk of time that I didn't need to spend, and
Yeah. Absolutely.
keep things
Yeah.
moving forward, So
Well,
yeah, I reckon like if we did it together, because that could be, like I said, I think visually, you think, structure type thing, I'm guessing. So yeah, we can take a chunk of that time out.
there has been so many learning experiences in this, and structuring my panels in like the written form
Mm,
where I know that two characters are going to talk back and forth to one another.
yeah.
Uh, I know that the first character to speak should be on the left, otherwise your speech bubbles are going to be crossed.
Yes, correct. And
Um,
you managed to nail that. That wasn't flagged at all, and I know that gets flagged quite a lot in terms of
yeah,
how you structure the panels. Yeah.
yeah, that was one of those really annoying um, like things to realize. Too late too.
Mm.
But yeah, I do agree. Getting speech bubbles in there at the thumbnail or the sketch level, I think, is a really good way to move forward.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah. Because then I can just like cut out a lot of the stuff that probably doesn't need to be put in the background.
Yeah. Well, there we go. This is not just a podcast. This is a
No, no.
brainstorm.
It's a chance for us to actually do the good thing, learn,
Yeah.
collaborate. And for those listening, talk to your writer. Don't be like me and just go to town. I was lost. I was still a little bit lost and still a little bit postpartum. So
Yeah.
not
Um,
anymore. I feel like I've got my groove back now that I'm fully back into doing my thing.
yeah. Yep. I I lost kind of my groove after my son was born, but it was only because work was kind of dragging me down.
Mm,
So that day that I was on the way to work and Metallica got me through, like that
yeah.
was because I hadn't slept really that night because my 3-month-old
And
was
ever since.
not playing the game. But actually having this comic book as like and I hate calling it a passion project, but it is. It's not a side gig; it's the gig,
Yeah, yeah,
and everything else is the side gig. It's the thing that pretty much my entire house has got like Maurice somewhere in like there's cupboards full of Maurice comics, and
that's so
you know
good.
I yeah, and there's shirts everywhere, and my kids are running around in the Maurice shirts, and I'm not sure if you could make that out, but can you see that? It's a little Maurice Lego that I was at a Comic Con in on the
Oh yeah,
Fraser
the little
Coast.
Lego one. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. He just came out of nowhere and gave it to me, and um, those cons, where you're going and you're not really expecting anything, and yeah, just this kid comes out of nowhere and gives me that, and I'm going, there is a reason why I'm doing this.
Yeah,
There is a reason why Maurice helped me, and uh, not to get too grandiose about it, but like the fact that somebody could be reading your book in a couple of years, Lauren, and go, I want to write, I want to draw, like that kind of inspiring thing.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I know that's not the goal. The goal is to tell a story. The goal might be just entertainment. But as this like little side quest, just to inspire somebody to read a book.
yeah. That's it.
Do you find it's hard to get people to read, like the marketing side of things?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, are you talking like something that's fresh?
Yeah, well, yeah, starting something that's fresh, somebody that, they
Yeah,
maybe don't want to take a risk on it.
yeah.
Um,
I find
you
that
know,
a lot of people, artists, writers, stuff like that, when they're trying to create something that's of their own accord, it's so hard for that like people to just even pick it up at shows and stuff because people become comfortable. They're like they know Spider-Man. They already got their comics and stuff, So yeah.
yeah. I did watch the Derek Loffman one, and he said something similar.
Mm,
I I love comics. I love comic book characters. I love that Spider-Man was a photographer, and that there's these little ideas that kind of connect.
Yeah.
You know, he was a photographer for a newspaper taking photos of himself as the hero. You know, like that. That's just so creative and just believable.
Yeah.
But at one point, you know, as much as you can love Tom Holland, surely you've seen Spider-Man movies enough. Haven't we seen Bruce Wayne and Martha Wayne die enough in Batman movies?
Look, I'm not
Like, if you're
gonna
out there,
argue with you there. I just yeah,
just give Maurice a go.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like, Spider-Man's always gonna be there, and I think when people go to see those new movies and stuff, they get, I don't know, frustrated that it's not, like, something super fresh and still sort of the same story, or if it strays too from the story, then they still get mad, and you're like, "What do you expect? It's the
yeah.
same
What do you
IP."
want? Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, yeah. Like Tom Cruise, tell me, you know, let me help you.
yeah.
There is, like I remember in that '90s period where I don't think comics were like floundering or anything, but they were going like I think they were doing cheap shots.
Oh, yeah.
You know, put two comic book characters together that really don't need to be together, and we'll like start a new universe. Or yeah, I feel like we do need a new hero,
Oh, yeah.
and you know what? It could be Maurice.
Hey, everyone better go have a look at it, you know?
Yeah,
Yes. So where do you want to see Maurice go? Um, do you have like a structure in terms of like how many issues you want to do, or you've obviously thought about the story arc and what what issues are going to include what?
yeah. So in this run, like I do have a secondary story, but I can't work it in with this. It was one of those ideas that I had in and then cut out.
Yeah.
Um, so I just left that for maybe a volume two. But for this run, I'm thinking 12.
Oh yeah. Nice.
And at the end of it, Maurice will find out that he gets offered a job to be security for a metal band, and they go on a European tour, and that's where the second volume happens.
Yeah.
But at the end of this one, um, he obviously saves metal
Yeah.
because he is the hero. But just um, how far away I go from what I've got down as my like notes. Every single time I write an issue and you know put coming up next in issue 8, by that time I've already got like half another issue like in
Yeah.
new
Wow.
material. Um,
You'll naturally come
and
up with stuff that's new, right?
sorry,
You'll naturally come up with new ideas as you write because you'll see how the
yeah,
characters intertwine and stuff.
yeah, yeah, and as a writer, like you're putting yourself into that story. You know, you've got uh, parts of me is Maurice, so I would go, well, how would I be taking on this scenario, and what would be the ramifications of this if I was to do this? So the story is kind of evolving. You know, I've got the bones and where I want to go, the plot points. But when you get there and like this doesn't seem believable,
Hmm.
and then all of a sudden you need to, you know, there'd be ramifications for everything that Maurice chooses to do.
Yeah.
The story just naturally evolves and kind of grows. And that's another part of the fact. That's another reason why I love the writing concept, the writing
Yeah.
part of it.
Yeah. That's where I
So yeah,
struggle.
so at the moment it's 12 issues, but that could blow out again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's a thing as well. Like, try not to limit yourself. If stuff needs to change, stuff needs to change. You know.
yeah, yep. And also, like I don't want to burn anybody out, so like I know there has to be an ending.
Yeah. Yeah. And even though you're like I've got so much more to tell, but then you have to tell yourself, well, that could be told at a different time.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And that's a fun part of the process too. I find
Yeah.
it's like reverse. It's hoarding. It's reverse hoarding.
Yeah.
It's like you really don't want to overcrowd. Like this hero has got a message. Um,
Yeah.
you know, the story does have an ending, and anything that could actually cloud that or make people think something different um, might be getting away from the theme. It might be introducing too much.
Yeah. That's where I am not a great writer because I'll just jam pack that motherfucker until it's chock a block. So anyone who does read, or if I actually finish this other graphic novel, I apologize.
Apologize in advance.
Yeah, I already
But what
know I'm
about
gonna.
if it's meant to be exactly as it came out? So,
Hey, that's it. You gotta put it out into the universe.
yep. Were you nervous when you watched the Ink Pulp video?
Look, I avoided it for a little bit, but it's because I was running on minimal sleep. 'Cause we had a couple of rough patches with my daughter trying to get through a couple of moments through the night. Um, but no, I just suck it up, little girl, and just watched it, and then learned heaps from it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
I
one. I'm
so
not
I
one to
do.
typically get scared or shy. I'm just like, man, okay, let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like some artists, their own worst critics anyway.
But yeah, gotcha.
And that's you as well, is it?
Oh, some days I'm like, get frustrated, like I said, even though before I said, like, I get excited that it's an opportunity for me to learn, doesn't stop me from feeling frustrated that I'm not doing
Yeah,
exactly what I wanna do.
yeah.
But no, not
Imagine
really.
if you were comfortable though.
Oh god, yeah, you don't wanna be fully comfortable. It's not gonna be you ain't gonna learn much from that. But no, I don't really I think I'm not a critic of my super critical of my work, but I still believe I'm not good enough, as in I know I've got skill, I know I've got all that, but it's like, oh, I don't really belong. You know, if I got offered to do Spider-Man or whatever, I'd be like, "Mm, really? You're gonna choose me?" Like
Yeah,
that's my attitude, and I need to like suck it up and be like, no, I know I do a lot of hard work and stuff. I don't know, it's this weird thing my brain does. And like I think even at the beginning of that portfolio review, they were like, what's your skill level? And I was like, I'm intermediate. That's kind of what I said.
yeah,
And
yeah.
they're like, no, I think you got a little
No,
bit
no,
more
no.
than that. I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's because in that video they say you're already doing it.
I
You know,
know.
you're already a professional. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Like I'm confident, but I'm not confident. It's very
yeah.
odd.
I I completely understand. Uh, I I even like part of the fact that if I wrote a sentence for Maurice, I would still think that I could do it better,
Yeah.
and I don't think that's a bad thing. I tell the kids that um, there's nothing wrong with being uncomfortable.
Yeah,
There's
100%.
nothing wrong with realizing that something that you could be doing better, or you don't know everything, and then that's like actually a real comfort.
It is. Otherwise, God, how boring would life be?
Oh, disaster! The idea that you'd know everything. Um, so I don't think I've ever told you this, but there was one time during the creation of Maurice that I did give it a go and draw it myself.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if I kept them because it was so embarrassing. And when you asked me to join you on the podcast, one of the things that I was really looking forward to, apart from having a chin wag,
Yeah.
is just getting some tips and whether or not, like, even a professional illustrator such as yourself has this issue. When you draw any character,
Mhm.
especially in sequential art, do you look at it sometimes and go, that doesn't look like the same character in the next panel?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Oh, yeah. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
just
okay.
yeah,
Because if I
gonna
was to
happen.
draw Maurice side on, it would look like a completely different character front
Yeah.
on.
Totally normal. Totally
Okay.
normal. And that's why I tell everybody, create a model sheet. Just do it. Front view, side view, three-quarter view, and a back view if you really want to, but that's hardly gonna be a thing. You're not gonna see a face there. But, yeah. Every time I've come onto a job and someone says, "Oh, can you draw my character?" Whether it's just like a commission or if they want me to actually draw panel work or whatever, I'm always say to them, do you have a model sheet that I can look at?" Like, "No, I don't." You're like, "Yeah, well, do you want me to make you one?" Because and they
Kind of
just
need one.
when people throw just a whole bunch of different, um, just like one-off drawings at you, and sometimes they're not
Yeah.
always consistent. Like,
Yes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
can shoot them in the foot a little bit.
Yeah.
So
I'm pretty
when you've
sure
got
when we
something
started.
visually, like when you've got something visually there, so whenever you get to a panel, you're like, oh, it doesn't look right. Go back to something that is
Refer to it.
consistent. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was one of the keys too for learning how to put comics together, was that consistency was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and learning that, um, you can't. And it was from my publishing and graphic design days that you're not changing fonts halfway through, or
Mm-mm.
you're not changing
It's like a style
your
guide.
speech bubble size. Yeah, exactly. So it's like a style guide for a character.
Yeah. Don't mess with it.
Don't mess with it. When you want to, in that regard, when you've got your style sheet for your character,
Mm.
and you do want to contort the body or contort the face for a particular emotion, do you have like a style sheet that shows that range of, like, rage or
No, I'd say that would be more a skill level. So,
right?
like learning how to draw those emotions already, because, and I guess it really does depend on like how you want to draw it as well. So, um, like style, in
Hmm.
what I mean. Like, do you want it to be like, I try and push it a little bit more to have a little bit more of an animated look to it. But that's obviously coming from my background. But I guess some people like it. It really depends on how much comfort you want to have, and if you want to have that much of a reference sheet set, But I would, from my personal point of view, learn how to draw those emotions and study your nonverbal communication, and all
Yeah.
that plays a part.
Hmm. So you studied nonverbal communication in high school?
In drama, and also when I did my diploma in animation. So we actually had to get us like little 18, 19-year-old nerdy kids had like an actor come in. He was a voice actor, but he also did was teaching us how to, move our bodies and do acting classes, and how would this person
So cool.
walk? Like if someone was I think there's a scene in 101 Dalmatians where Pongo is his name, looking out the window, and he sees the owner that looks like the dog, and he's scouting a missus for his man, and you can actually see like what kind of character they are, and they're not even talking, they're just walking with their dog, and yet the dog and the human look one and the same, but they're obviously a different
Yeah.
species. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
that's what you want. Like you want to be able to understand how to depict that um, with
That's
your
so
drawings,
cool.
because you know you should be able to tell a story in a comic as like pretty much 90 to 95% without the words. You need to be able
Hmm.
to show that it's actually a story being taken place, and how do they get from one room to the other, and what is that character feeling?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
super important.
Yeah. So animation. Was animation a choice of yours because there were no comic book, like, kind of?
Well, I fell in love with Pixar when I was a young kid.
Of
Um,
course.
but yeah, I got my diploma, and then there wasn't too much going on in that field, so I naturally took myself over to more static stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But like, that sounds like there's a lot of crossovers too.
Oh god, yeah. Fully
Yeah.
transferable, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just
That's
like for
great.
graphic design and stuff, like, it's all relevant.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, with characters walking, especially in animated, um, like, one that always stands out for me is the way Shaggy walked in Scooby
Yeah,
Doo.
yep, another
Yeah,
one.
I mean, yeah, like, you knew that character was not all right, you know. And it'd be interesting to see how Maurice walked. I can imagine him dragging his heels, dragging his feet, bit of a slacker.
Yeah. Like I said, he'd be a little bit hunched. Classic teenager, shrugging,
Yeah,
lanky. Yeah,
yeah,
dragging his feet a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. Trying to hide a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a confidence thing, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I do want to see Maurice animated, but at the moment, where I'm happy with, like, I'm happy just doing comic books.
Yeah,
I'm even happy just having the outlet to actually write you know the script.
yeah,
So everything on top of what I'm able to do myself, especially with you on the team, like it's amazing.
yeah. Well, just
And
keep that sort of stuff on the horizon, you know? At least you know that that's where you want to take it, and if you got the chance to do it,
yeah, no, I'd be happy if it stayed just me thinking about it.
yeah,
So
yeah,
everything else on top of that
is
is
bonus.
just yeah, absolutely. And when I'm at those cons and somebody comes up to me and says, "Are you the writer or the illustrator?" and I go, I'm the writer, creator." And it was one of those things where I had to stop myself from saying, "I'm just the writer."
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're not just anything. You know,
No.
uh, I'm the one packing the comics. I'm the one, running the store. I'm the
Yeah, yeah.
one creating it.
It's
There's
all
a
the
lot that
important
goes in.
stuff.
No, I don't know if it's the important stuff. But yeah, it's just those things that you have to. It has to be part of the process. Yeah. So yeah, these cons. Some of these kids will come up to me and ask how I got started, and I love that idea that that person could go away and create a
Yeah.
comic book just because they saw somebody else do it, and
So, of course,
I
you
think
can
that's
write something. Anybody can. Are they all gonna
yeah,
be good?
exactly.
Probably not.
Yeah,
But,
is it going to suck at the start? Yes, that's
yeah.
okay.
But it's also you gotta enjoy it. If it's gonna bring you a bit of joy, then fuck it, just do it. If you're not hurting anybody, yeah. Do you find that you get a lot of people coming to the shows and connecting with Maurice, or, like, do you
Um,
feel there is a bit of a struggle in terms of getting people to give it a chance?
I feel like there is that struggle to give it a chance. Like you're
Mm,
asking somebody to read in like today's day and age where I sound so old.
yeah,
You know, the YouTube reels where people could just flick off
yeah,
what they don't want to see.
instant.
Yeah, it's like that gratification so quickly. So you're fighting against that. Uh, and at one point, I was really worried that maybe metal was daunting, even from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah,
Uh, if I had made it really demonic, then I would have been throwing away um, even like a larger chunk of that audience that may have understood what story I'm trying to tell.
yeah.
Because I think metal, even today, has been demonized.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I don't think
and
that's ever gonna stop.
um, shows like Metalocalypse really like push on that.
Yeah,
And to those metal fans out there watching this, this is more about thrash metal. So like those early days of Metallica,
yeah,
and like they weren't wearing face paint. They weren't wearing corpse paint. I think it's called. They were just 18-year-old, 19-year-old kids. You know, they couldn't get music fast enough, so they made it themselves.
yeah,
Yeah, and there was just like this reckless abandon with it, and they were having fun. You know, I imagine that some of those people that went into music at that point, um, they were very fortunate that they had music and they didn't find drugs or crime.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's more about that sort of uh, expression and release. Building up that frustration of you don't fit into society, and then having music as that kind of backbone that your tribe.
yeah.
No satanic stuff at all. When you're reading comics and you find something that's really exploitative, do you tend to shy away from it or go towards it?
No, no. Yeah, I'm
No?
open.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me.
Because at one point I was like coming up with the idea and I go, well, this character definitely would be swearing, but how much swearing
Yeah.
and how much is too much? How much violence is too much?
But I mean, like, you're
Um,
not gonna please everyone, right? You're always gonna, make someone be like, "Oh my god, how dare you?"
yeah.
You know?
So I tried to do something where it was what would happen if John Hughes and Ozzy Osbourne wrote something together. That was my goal. So it is a teen drama,
Yeah.
but it's also got some outlandish characters and um, outlandish events. I've written a new character called Ned Stradamus.
Yeah.
His name's Ned, but he keeps on going around these metal gigs that Maurice attends, telling everybody that metal's time is over, and he's like Nostradamus,
Oh, yeah.
and he's making outrageous claims like metal and hip hop will fuse together and create a new genre,
Oh,
and
and you know
was
what? It does.
foreshadowing new metal. Those kind of like anybody who's been around a music scene, and you realize that they're the same characters.
Yeah.
The same people go to the same shows, and yeah, I really like that aspect of it.
Hell yeah.
And you can just introduce like a character just for 3 or 4 panels and never see them again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ned
It adds a little
Stradamus.
bit of like something to the lore. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the environment as well.
Okay. So we're going to be starting, next month? So what is it now? It's August now. So we're going to be getting on top of issue 5 next month and start dabbling in that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, timeline wise, what are we thinking? Like, how do we want this faster than the last one? Hopefully, I won't be dragging my feet like I did.
I'm like you though. Like for self-publishing, I think one of the great benefits out there, and I don't think it's a dirty word like it used to be,
Mm,
self-publish. We do get to take our time with this,
yeah,
you know.
you don't want to rush it.
No, no, but yeah. When somebody asks me how long have you been working on these, I tell people it's been 12 years, and I've
Yeah,
only got 4 issues to show for it.
yeah.
So one a year, I think I'd be happy with.
Well, yeah, I'd say that's pretty solid. And we managed to get 2, then why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. How long were you thinking?
I wouldn't mind getting it done by the end of the year.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, because then I can continue on with some other stuff. I need to obviously get myself in a better rhythm. But I feel like that's sort of naturally happening anyway now that my daughter's in daycare and I can actually take my do a little bit more and chill
Yeah,
out and
yeah.
it's nice for once.
Do you have any advice for people who are in that same like creative field and they're having kids at the same time and
Look, it depends if you're because I mean I'm the main parent. Not that I'm you know what I mean. Like I look after a majority of the time, so really depends where you're sitting with that. Um, my biggest advice would probably give yourself some grace. It's if it's your first time, then God, I had no idea what I was in for. Um, but as long as you don't lose sight of that, this is what you want to do, and keep coming back, and it'll happen. And then one day, like for me, I just sort of realized that, yeah, I feel like I'm feeling more like myself, and didn't try and force it. And it took a while. Like, yeah, like I said, just like be patient, give yourself some grace, and go from there. Like, and I mean, I struggled putting her in daycare because I felt way too guilty, but I'm thriving now and she loves it. So, is it really that bad?
yeah,
Everyone's
yeah.
got their opinions. Apparently, no parent can do anything right. So, stuff
No.
them.
I think if you're happy and your kid's happy, then
That's it. Be the best
yeah,
version of yourself for your kid.
yeah, absolutely. I
They'll,
find
they'll see it.
the daycare really helps a child with their social
It
aspects as well.
does.
So
And I
there's
know
definitely
there's
benefits.
so many people that try and like talk about how that's not a thing and the studies show it's not a thing, blah blah blah. My God, how many kids do you know that you've studied? And then God, I haven't looked into it enough, so don't quote me on this crap. But I know my kid and I can see she loves it.
Feeling.
Yeah.
Um,
I
yeah.
know my kid.
I always found that parenting was like that as well. Where
Judgy.
people will just give out advice even if you didn't ask for it.
God, and like I always find that most of my Instagram is full of advertisements and algorithm crap that is just made to make me feel like I'm the worst mother in the world. So,
Right.
my other piece of advice, and even this goes for the fellas, if your algorithm tends to go down that rabbit hole, um, get off social media and tell it to
Hmm.
fuck off, because
Yep.
this thing, I know it helps our industry and getting our work out there, but good God, it can really make you feel like a terrible human being.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not worth it. Not worth your
Not worth
sanity.
it at all. I feel like if people want to get in contact with me and tell me how I can make Maurice better, or give me advice about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
I will say, like, since this podcast has come out, I've like the amount of people who've reached out and just been like, "Oh my God, thank you. Like, this is great." And I'm not the first one to do this kind of format. If anybody wants recommendations, hit me up. But um, it's just nice to see that people are resonating with it, and there is a positive side to social media.
Yeah, absolutely.
Anyway.
It's one of those things where I'm kind of jealous of the kids growing up today now that they could learn to do tiling on YouTube.
Yeah. There is a great YouTube that I follow, and it's like the dad who like teaches you, if you've like you never grew up with a dad, and he teaches you how to change a tire, and he teaches you how to like, change a tap in your shower, like just the very
That's
not
cool.
basic stuff, but it's all like, hello. No, it's like acting like your dad. It's just really sweet. And I think that I love that stuff. Just like people just trying to be like create a better world for other people, and to no benefit for themselves.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And no judgment as well.
Yeah.
Aiming that the
You
only
don't
thing I can do is change a light bulb.
yeah. I was looking up how to regrout my shower the other day,
Oh, really?
and
Did you give it a go?
it is quite simple. It's just the time, because you have to let it set for ages. So, Handy Lauren's coming out to play, see if I break something. But you know what? I'm going to give it a crack.
Yeah, yeah. I in my bedroom, I've got some of your original artwork on the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I put up the frame myself,
Oh,
and I wanted to take a photo of the frame on the wall and put that actually in the frame, like with me beside it, going
I
like that with a
did
hammer.
it.
I did it.
It goes for many things.
Yeah. One of those things where you forgot to do it while you were drawing it was the headphone cable as well. One of them.
Yeah, yeah. I did a lot of that in post because I had to do it in white over the top of all the darker colors
Oh
and stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I forgot his pockets. Oh no. See, there you go. And that's why I've got my references up.
Well, I'm not an illustrator by any stretch. I do like to draw, just never find enough time to do it, which is an excuse.
Hey, me too.
But I'm all right with this.
Yeah. I can't wait to see. For those watching, we haven't I'm still figuring out the kinks of this stuff. But we didn't manage to figure out a way to screen share while we drew. So it's going to be a surprise for me at the end too of what yours looks like. So I'm excited to see
That's
what
cool.
what happens.
So I haven't seen yours either because I've had my references up on my
Oh
screen.
yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I was about to ask because we've hit an hour, and that's usually kind of where I want to keep it at, so I don't
Yep.
bore everyone too much. But how you tracking? You feel like you're nearly done?
Yeah, yeah. No, I feel like I'm done now.
Easy. Okay, me too. I think just a little cool, quick roughie of
Yeah.
Maurice done.
Oh, I get to jump on and see it now.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's a bit moody in this one.
yeah. Yep. Is there like something with his power that you'd like to have that visually as well? Like I've heard people say that why hasn't he got like electricity coming out of his headphones or the cable or
The fact that it is quite, I don't know, old school in the sense that the other comics didn't have too much flashy stuff, and
yeah,
that's him. I mean, he's got his strength, and you could work on doing like boom shock waves or something when he really makes like a really good hit, or stomping his feet, or how he yells. I think that will probably be just to give like the emphasis that the power is coming from just him.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need too much flashy stuff. He does all well.
No,
He does well.
he's kind of an unassuming hero too, which is
That's
why
it.
I like what I like about him.
Yeah. You don't
I think
expect it.
if he grew like a Hulk type character and was like a big bouncer,
Mm.
I don't think he'd be the same character.
No. Yeah.
No,
I mean, I feel like his demeanor will change throughout as he gets more confident, but yeah, no, I don't think he needs the bells and whistles.
that looks amazing, Lauren.
Oh, thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing yours.
Well, maybe you can write issue 5 and I'll draw it.
Oh God, no. Hard no on that one because I'm terrible.
No,
Already
yeah,
said
hard
that.
no from me too. But I'm looking forward to sharing it. It's not bad.
Of course, it's not bad. No, I
I
am.
did
Yeah,
forget the Walkman right at the end.
I see. It happens. It's
It
gonna
happens.
happen. You just roll it. Roll with the punches.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
with most things in life. Anyway, okay, so we've hit now. Thank you, Aaron, so much for jumping on with me and chatting about Maurice. I think people will probably appreciate seeing an artist and the writer chatting about it and feedback and, all the bells and whistles. Sorry, not bells and whistles, all the nuances that come with it. So,
Yeah, actually.
yeah.
And people who are interested in it just reaching out and asking questions as well. Like I always feel like you really know something if you can actually explain it to somebody.
God, yeah. Yeah, yeah. I always
And
say, like,
YouTube-
send me a message on Instagram. I'm not
yeah,
going to bite. I'm still
yeah,
one of us. One of us.
yeah.
So
Unless you're trying to sell me counterfeit like sunglasses, and I probably won't
yeah, then I don't
respond.
want it. Sorry.
Yeah,
Anyway,
cool.
but
Thanks for inviting me, Lauren.
no
It's been
problem.
really great fun.
Yeah, and if anybody is wanting to check out Maurice, I'm going to have all the links down the bottom where you can find the issues to buy, but then also where you can find Aaron. And like you said, reach out to him if you've got any questions about it or if there's something that you do want to see Maurice end up doing. So, yeah, thank you again, Aaron. And yeah, thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time. Stay sharp and we'll see you then. Bye.